Hey, what's up everyone? It's Ryan with My Listing Club. In today's video, I'm going to be introducing you to a new partner, WP Umbrella, and walking you through a guide that I just wrote today and introducing you to the discount that they were kind enough to give our community. All right, so from the My Listing Club website, you can find this information by going up under menu, and you'll find the deal under the deals page, as I've highlighted here, and under resources, which I'll click on right now. You can get the guide that I will be following for this video. Okay, so the guide is easily and effectively manage multiple WordPress sites with WP Umbrella. Okay, so I've got this pulled up on another screen, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this in a second. But really quickly, again, the top of the screen, the top half of this guide, there's a 20% off coupon, so just be sure to check that out. Yeah, I'm going to close this. All right, so here we're looking at the WP Umbrella website. They've got their own documentation. It is early stages of their company, even though they are backed by a great team, and they're backed also by the founders of the really popular WP Rocket plugin. But as you may know, I like to do my own guides for these sort of things because I have my own writing style, and I like to get straight to the steps and cut out a lot of the fluff. So some appreciate that versus the documentation sometimes of the vendors. Totally up to you there. But another reason I have this pulled up is I just wanted to show you right here in the top part, start free trial, 14 days, no credit card required, easy peasy, okay? Another thing I want to point out before I close this screen is the roadmap at the bottom here. Check that out. Tells you where they're currently at and where they plan on going. They have lots of big plans. Okay, I'm going to close that down. So before this video, the only thing that I did was started the free trial. That's it. You click start a free trial. You put in your info. I covered this in the guide. It's like 4 simple steps, and then off we go. So. Actually, I take that back. It's only 2 steps. We're picking up from step 3 from the guide, which is to click the add website button. So I've done nothing else for this, okay? So this is exactly what you would see. So add website, and we're going to put in our site name. And let me drop in the URL for it. This is one of my websites, actual websites. For hosting, I'm going to choose Kinsta. Kinsta is what I use for all my sites, all my client sites. I highly recommend it. Again, through the club, get onto the club's Kinsta plan and get a massive discount there. Okay, so we got their information in there, and we click Add Website again. Okay, right off the bat, we see a message in this yellow box. It has to do with Cloudflare. This is just saying that you need to tell your firewall, which is Cloudflare in this case, to whitelist the IP address of WP Umbrella. Just punch a small hole through the firewall and let WP Umbrella talk to your infrastructure. Okay, that's all that is. Very common thing. Nothing to be alarmed about. So for that, I've already set that up on the Cloudflare side. It's on the guide how to do it. Not a problem. So let me go ahead. I'm on the website side of things here. So let me pull that over. So I've already done, like I said, I've already done the Cloudflare thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to skip down to the part of the guide. It's the next part actually, but it's the WP Umbrella WordPress plugin setup. So for that, we're just going to go add new on the plugins. Do a search for WP Umbrella. Click install next to it. And of course, Murphy's Law, you do a video and then everything's slower than it normally is. All right, there we go. And then we'll click activate. All right, so now we have that plugin in there. The next thing we want to do is we want to go to settings here. if this is your first time installing it, you're going to get a little bit of a different message. It's because I've had this installed on this site before, you know, when I was doing the guide. But you get a little bit different message, but it's all covered in my guide. Super simple stuff. So what we need to do now is we just need to grab this API key that's at the top of the WP Umbrella dashboard. So we've copied that to our clipboard. I'm going to jump back over into my site and just drop that in. And I'm going to toggle this setting on. If you are a website professional, you do website maintenance for your clients, or if you are just technical and or interested in general in collecting more technical information, I highly recommend toggling this on. This is going to show you things that other solutions don't show around like PHP errors and things of that nature, things that would be really more difficult for you to collect and see without WP Umbrella, okay? So I really recommend turning that on, and then we'll go ahead and click Save here. I'm not sure why that's not saving. Go back. There we go. I don't know what was going on there. All right, so now we saved that. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and move this off here. Now let's go ahead and we'll click the Resync button in WP Umbrella. All right, let's just go ahead and refresh the entire screen. All right, there we go. So maybe just the refresh of the screen, that was all that was needed. So there we go. So just like that, we've got our site in there. And next up in the guide is the integrations. The integration right now that they have is Google Analytics. So for that, we go up under our account settings in the top menu there and choose integrations. And you just click this button right here, sign in with Google. And let me see, let me find some credentials for myself here. All right, there we go. So let's copy those in there. Do a little two-step authentication here for security. All right, this one right here, you just need to tick these two boxes and say continue. Okay, just like that, we've connected our Google Analytics. Now, this is under one of my companies, WP Turned Up, which manages some Google accounts for some of my clients. So in that case, any of those accounts that are under my Google account, I can manage those. But if you don't have access to certain clients' Google accounts, you're going to need their information to connect with Google Analytics. So in short, you need to connect with Google Analytics for maybe multiple accounts, depending on how you've got your organization set up. So if everything's one-to-one, so meaning each Google account is one-to-one for each website, then you just have to put each of those in for each website that you add to WP Umbrella and that you want to manage Google Analytics for. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, so that's where that is. That's pretty much it for the analytics side. Pretty easy peasy stuff. We'll look at that again here in a little bit. So let's just run down through the dashboard now. Let's click on our sites here again. And go ahead and click into this site. And we're just going to run through all of these tabs. Uptime and Performance, kind of like it sounds. We see that there's 100% uptime. It means the site has never gone down in this, in this particular range, which is today. If we do, this month, you can do all kinds, custom, whatever. But we see that the site has always been up. We see its response time is good. Clicking over into the settings, we can see that we are trying to ping the server every 30 minutes. We want to knock this down to 2. If you use a service kind of like Uptime Robot, their free service only allows you to go to 5 minutes at a time. But if you can use a service that goes even more, like every 2 minutes, that's better. So you're going to know even faster if your site is going down or has issues. So I would put that on the lowest setting. And which region would you like to check? For this one, I say choose the region that is represents the majority of your audience. If you're global, this doesn't matter as much. If you're like, let's say you were just in the US, you would just choose US. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose US for now and click Update Settings. All right, so that's pretty much it for uptime and performance there. You will, over time, get more stats in here as far as the performance relating to Core Web Vitals and whatnot. Those will populate in here, okay? All right, let's move over to PHP Issues. And this should be blank right from the get-go. Hopefully it's blank forever. That means you don't have any issues. But this is happening in real time, so there should be nothing in here right now. But if you ever do get PHP errors, those will show up into here, okay? Let's click over into the update section. So here you'll get by default, it starts at on the plugin, so you'll get a list of all your plugins, the version that they're at, and if any updates are available, those will show up there. If there are updates available, there will be, let me go ahead and show you. Let's see if I can show you what that looks like. I'm going to add a plugin I know for sure that's out of date here. Let's see, let's do this one. All right, so I've added that. Let's go ahead and refresh. That was probably the wrong move. We probably really wanted to resync. That's probably what we should have done. Oh, no, it's in there. Let's go ahead and do a resync anyway. See if it can capture the fact that plugin is out of date. It didn't do that. So, okay, while we're here, you see, so here's our performance coming in. So all kinds of cool metrics coming in there for performance. Let's go back to our updates. Still not showing that. Let me install another plugin. Let me find, let's see, let's do this one. Bear with me one moment, apologies. All right, so I've just installed an older version of SEO Press, which I also recommend. All right, so that's in. Let's go ahead and do, go to add SEO Press as well. Okay, so on my other screen, I'm going to quickly add SEO Press, just the base version. That was my fault. I should have done that. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it's already in there. All right, so we're going to just activate these two. And let's do a resync. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing it. Could be because I don't have my license key in there. Let me try one more thing here. Let me try to put my license in. Let's see if that works. All right, so I've activated my SEO Press license. Let's go ahead and do another resync. Well, still not finding it. There's definitely an update for SEO Press that went out today. There's 5.8 launched today. Okay, we'll come back to that. Maybe it will show up, but you get the idea there. And then under themes, same deal. This particular site's running Hello Elementor. That will not be updated very often, but this is where you would go to update your theme. Let's jump over to the Backups tab. Here, there shouldn't be much that you need to do as far as the backup content. What you can do is take a peek at your exclude files options, and you can see this is what WP Umbrella excludes out of the box. It's not saying that you have these, it's just making these exclusions for you automatically. You can remove them if you want. Just depends. It depends on your setup, what you've got going on there. I don't have any of this stuff going, so I like those exclusions. That's fine. You can even exclude more if you want. Choose the directory or the files that you want to exclude. You can easily do that here. Okay. Same with the database. You can exclude database tables if you want. But by default, you should be good to go for the most part. So we're going to go ahead and click Save and Continue here. Okay, now we want to set up our backup schedule. And because we run WooCommerce websites with MyListing, I recommend toggling this to to hourly backups. Now, this is one of the major selling points of WP Umbrella, if nothing else is, which there's tons more to offer, but this is one of the top selling points in my opinion. Because you have a WooCommerce website, an e-commerce site, being able to restore within 1 hour is massive. If you're on a program or a solution like Managed WP, they're going to charge you almost $5 a month just for that alone. Whereas WP Umbrella, if you just go straight to WP Umbrella, they're going to charge you $2 a month for all of the features they offer. If you go through the club, it's even cheaper. But right off the bat, that's a $3 a month savings if you happen to be using that feature on a solution like Managed WP. So really awesome stuff to be able to back up that granular out of the box for no additional cost. Okay, so we're just going to knock that down to an hour. I don't even see why you wouldn't do that on no matter what type of website you have. Once you get past the full backup, it's going to start backing up incrementally. So that's just the changes. That way your server performance is not affected. Okay, so there's a case to be made. Just set this to an hour and move on with your life. Okay, so we're just going to leave that to an hour, save and finish. And that backup's going to run, like I said, the first one is a full backup, so it's going to take a little bit to run. And you can do, as you can see here with this button, you can create a manual backup on the fly. WP Umbrella allows for up to 3 manual backups, and it saves them for 14 days. If you're on Kinsta also gives you 5. So plenty of coverage there should you need to make that many manual backups. All right, we'll leave the backup running there. Let's jump back over to updates and see if that plugin update is in there. Still not in there. Okay, we'll come back again. All right, let's click on the security tab. And over here, this is just a rundown of some of your software versions. So WordPress version, PHP version. It's telling us everything is okay as far as our SSL, or search engines can get to our site, and so on and so forth. These files here can sometimes be a security risk if they are turned on. So this is basically saying that these are turned off, so you're good. Okay, that's about all there is in that section. Let's go to reports. So here, this is where you would configure the reports that go out to your clients. I mean, they could go out to you as well if you want. But yeah, so this is where you just drop in the title. Put in the address that it's going to be coming from, and according to the report. So this is the email address the report's going to say that they can reply to. You can choose different languages in there. Put in a subject. You can adjust I highly recommend that you adjust the email body so it's personalized to your client. So you can set up reports on a per client basis. So that's a nice touch. Put in their first name in there and just give it more of a personal touch for them. Okay, and once they kind of sneak this in towards the bottom here, but here you can click this manager branding for all reports. Notice that's all reports. Maybe this will change in the future to where you can get, you can do this under multiple brands. Maybe you can do branding for each company. That would be really cool. Anyway, you just put your accent color in here, whatever that might be. You can just, by default, this is typically fine to send it from WP Umbrella, but I've got instructions in the guide for how to set up your own custom domain. So check that out if you want to make it look like the emails are coming. Well, it's not make it look like. They will be coming from your domain. So you can they walk you through the steps on how to do this. Okay? So that's something you might want to check out. It's something that I would set it up that way. But if you just want to get going right out of the box and get those reports out there, you can just send from the WP Umbrella domain. All right, so let's go back in there. Let's just put some stuff in here. So let's assume that we've done our branding. We're going to go ahead and click Save and Continue. All right, it wants an actual email address here. There we go. So on this screen, we're on the report content. Here is where we choose what we want to show the client. And again, obviously this is a report just for this particular client, so you might want to make it really simple for them. They don't need to see analytics. They might not need to see security or whatever. We're just going to select them all, and then we're going to go top down here. So welcome message. In this one, you can put a title. You can drop a message. Hey, running a 30% off this month, for XYZ product, or hey, hope your surgery went well and you're in recovery. Whatever. Just give it a nice personal touch. Drop that in. Analytics. We've done the integration already. We'll assume we've done the analytics connection for this particular client. So let's assume that we've done that. You can click edit here and you'll be able to pick that account. Okay. So that's really cool. If this particular site is under, if this particular site were to be under this one Google Analytics account you saw me add, it would show up in this drop-down list right here. Also do note that this only works with Google Analytics version 4, GA4. This is the newer Google Analytics technology. So it's not like you're missing out any features really, because they are just looking to the future, which is not a bad thing, okay? So make sure you get your Google Analytics V4 set up. I have a guide, a newly updated guide in the club for how to set this up, okay? All right, moving on down. You're just gonna show them the performance and uptime stats, show them how many updates you've done for them, show them that the backups are running, show them that the security checks are running and they've passed. Custom work, this is a really cool feature. So let's say you've done something custom for them. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't know it, what you've done. So you can select the date that you completed the work on, put in the title, added WooCommerce subscriptions, and then talk about it. And you can add that in. So it drops that custom work down in there, and when you completed it, you could even drop like how many hours it took you. 4 hours to complete. And then maybe say how much time is remaining of support for the month or whatever they have with you. All kinds of cool stuff. And you can add multiple multiple jobs here. Really, really cool stuff. And then closing message. It's kind of like, you know, you did with the welcome message. I hope you enjoy my service. Please let me know if there's anything that I can help with. You know, that sort of thing. Okay, then you can click preview report there, and let's see what that does for us. There we go. So really beautiful reports. So we've got our, you know, overview of the different sections. So look at that custom work. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, let's go ahead and close this down. We'll click save and continue here. And the next thing we want to do is schedule the sending of our reports. I send mine on a monthly basis, and I send it at the end of the month. So I would say the start date here would be Friday, July 1st. Now, the time you send it, that is, you know, that depends on your client, but I typically recommend to try to send it to them on a time when, you know, based on their time zone and whatnot, the type of business they're in. Try to guess at a time that you can send it to them where they might actually receive it and read it, you know, so they get real value from it, not just get it and delete it or ignore it. That's a tricky thing to do. Anyway, you can put the time in there, they get it. The other thing too that I recommend, I actually have something in my FAQs and in my my website site care page that says reports are by request only, and that's because a lot of people just don't want the noise in their inbox. They just want you to take care of it for them and let them know if there are issues that they need to be aware of, you know, either via your project management or support tools or whatever. They don't necessarily have the time or want to take the time to read a report. So that's how I do it. A lot of the talk in the communities I'm in these days around website professionals is reports are kind of not what they used to be. Like, people aren't as interested as they used to be. So a lot of people just aren't even sending reports. So you could just do it that way, or you could just flat out ask them, hey, do you want reports? You know, or the other thing is just send it to them until they tell you to stop. I think I do err more on the side of doing it by request only. That's just my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna click. Let's just say you were getting interrupted here and you had to leave and you weren't really sure of the schedule. You could click save and finish here. But let's just say you're set with the schedule. You could just click save and schedule. Okay, and then just confirm. All right, then let's jump over to our settings. This just has our project name. You can change that. You can change your hosting. I'm not sure what value it provides to put your hosting in here. I'd have to find that out. Other than them just being able to know that data from you and help improve the product. Nothing much else you need to concern yourself with here. But if we look at the notification area, this is where you want to add emails for the people that you want to alert. So this would be your client's email if they want to be alerted. This would be your team members. Maybe you have an email distribution list that you send alerts to, that sort of thing. Okay, so add those emails, click update email notifications to save those changes. And if you happen to use Slack, you can drop that information in here and get alerts via Slack, either in addition to, in lieu of, or do both email and Slack alerts. So really cool stuff there. And then obviously delete is deleting the site. Let's go back here to, I really want to see if it will detect that I have an update. I'm not sure why it's not. Let's do a resync again. Let that go there just for a second. Let me go back to my guide, make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. I think we covered it all. Yeah, so when you do the reports and when you want to send from your custom domain, I've got it in the guide. I'm not going to cover it here. It's a little more advanced and boring, but I cover it all, and it has to do with setting up DNS records. It's not difficult. It's just really dry stuff. But it's all in the guide, and I even give you a little. Here, I'll just show you here. So this is where I kind of walk through it here, and then I even give you my example record that you can copy here based on my situation, which is I use Microsoft 365 for my email. I use Sendinblue for transactional email, and then of course I use WP Umbrella. So this is how my entire SPF record looks. Okay. I am not sure why that is still not showing an update. That might not be necessarily a WP Umbrella thing. It could be an SEO press thing. They're just not talking yet. Maybe it takes a bit of time. Anyway, if there was an update, obviously it would tell you. It's going to give you a link to the changelog, and then it's going to give you an option to update it. All that is covered in the guide. It's really easy stuff. You see here there's a button, Open WordPress Admin. So if you click that, it's going to drop you right into your WordPress dashboard for the site itself. Really cool. Time saver there. If you were back at your sites list, you could obviously search for your sites. You could sort them by when you added them, so latest, fastest, slowest, so on and so forth. Really awesome stuff there. And then without even going into the site itself, you can click here to go to your dashboard. Click this WP admin button. Okay. So the bulk actions area, if you had a bunch of sites, which you most likely will have if you're an agency and you're doing website care for a bunch of people, this is where you can manage the plugins and the themes and whatnot in bulk as far as updating them and whatnot. So you can see here, you can update them, you can activate, deactivate, that sort of thing. Here you go. This isn't showing the update, but I really wanted you to see the changelog. So view changelog, you can click that. It takes you, well, that one doesn't really take you there, but let's look at SEO Press. That's a little better. So what this is doing is just connecting you to the WordPress repository. And this one was nice enough to open into the development tab, which has got the changelog in there. So let's try WP Codebox. Yeah, so this one, so maybe a little bit of work to do to connect you with the right changelog, but that's not a huge deal. You can find it yourself too. And then the same with WordPress core. You can update WordPress core from here. All right, so really cool stuff. Before we go, another thing too, you can click on these actual buttons to go into the things, the various areas. So instead of having to click the website and then go into the tab, you can click here and go directly to the tab that way. Okay, one PHP issue, so we'll have to look at that. Yeah, really cool stuff. Before we go, I just wanted to show you where it is that I came from as far as the solution that I use to manage clients' websites, and that was Manage WP. I've been using this for a long time. I don't want to say bad things about it because it is served a purpose. It's not the worst thing in the world, but if you just look, I wish I had more sites in here. You could really see this thing light up and whatnot, but you can just tell WP Umbrella is modern. It's faster. Everything's fast. With Manage WP, everything's kind of clunky to get around. It just looks more archaic. Yeah, it's just nothing is well organized. There's lots of noise, lots of pop-up boxes you're always going to get. Notifications are going to, I've grown. I'm tired of it. You can probably tell by the tone of my voice. I've always been looking for a change. I didn't want to go to main WP because I don't want to self-host this stuff. I just want it to be a service and be up all the time working. I don't want to manage a site that manages sites, if you know what I mean. So I was looking for another SaaS solution like Managed WP. But like I said, let's say if you were to activate backups on the Managed WP side. So premium alone for a monthly backup is $2 a month. For that one thing alone, you've paid for WP umbrella. I mean, this is a no-brainer decision, people. Like, I don't know. I can't even express it anymore. It's a no-brainer decision. Let's activate free, okay? So we've activated the free backup. Now, let's say that we wanted to do every hour just like WP umbrella allows. You see the cost right here, $6 a month. You can get 3 sites on WP umbrella for that cost. Okay? So it's just a no-brainer in my opinion. The other thing is the reports on Managed WP they're not that great, not that pretty to look at. I think WP umbrellas are great out of the box, and I think they're only going to get better from what I hear. Security doesn't really do much on Managed WP. It just tells you basically if there's a known vulnerability. It's kind of a weak thing. The Uptime Monitor thing has never worked for me. A lot of people complain about this. It's just, I hate to talk bad about it. It's maybe because of what WP Umbrella is doing, that will light a fire under Managed WP to make changes. But because they're owned by GoDaddy, I think they're going to be slower to make changes. They do say it's a different team, I think, but it just seems to ran its course. At least it has with me, and I'm ready to move on. Yep. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this saves you money and gives you more. I know it's going to give you more bells and whistles and save you money, but I hope you realize that. I hope you really take a hard look at it. Again, free trial is available. You have nothing to lose just to try it out. All right, WP Umbrella, MyListing Club. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so I can keep doing these videos. Thanks. See ya.